Hello, 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 and welcome to the Cup TV, the Currently Unnamed Podcast, where we put the real and the tea in reality. You can always come to us first to quench your thirst. I am your girl, Lana, your resident evil diva, and I'm here to give the tea, spill the tea, and drink the tea because you know I loves me some tea. Her. And, I also love my cup mug, and you. Yes, you can get one of these beautiful cup books at lanagcreations.etsy.com. That link will be in the description below. And it's in the QR code right above my head. Well, right over, I think I'm mirrored, so it might be over there. But either way, either over there or over there, but probably over there. Get your cup mug, scan that QR code. It'll take you right to the link where you can get your QR code. Where you can get your cup mug. And we do ship internationally and domestically, so there are no excuses. Get your cup mug and period. Oh, you all, I am here. It is me, it is I. I am here by myself today because everybody is busy doing life and living, and we still got to keep the party rolling. So whether it's me by myself or us as a panel or whatever, we're still going to get that show on this podcast out for you. There is no question about it. But I appreciate everybody who for tuning in. If this is your first time, I'll say welcome. I appreciate you. Thank you for joining us. All the love. If you would do me a favor and a solid, hit that subscribe button right down there below. And we are on a mission here at the Cup TV to get 1,000 new subscribers by the end of the year. And we're already at the end of October. Can you believe that? Already there. We're not. We're still need quite a few of you to subscribe to this channel. So please subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. If you're sick of me saying this every single week, then you will subscribe and help us get to that goal. Because if not, I'll be saying it until we get there. I'm persistent that way. I don't stop. I don't quit. I don't give up. Mm-mm. I outwit. I play out. Well, I outlast because I will continue to say it. But anyway, hit the subscribe button and you can follow us on this channel, and we have two other channels in the cup network that you can follow. If you're a fan of drag or drag race, at the cup pod is the place for you, and if you are a fan of Eurovision Song Contest, at the cup esc is the place for you. You can go, and because they are also on that mission to get 1,000 new subscribers by the end of the year, so help us out. Also, if you need to check us out on the go, our audio podcast links are down there as well, so you can click those. Our Patreon is open. We have a lot of fun things going on in our Patreon, you guys. I like when I'm like, I know we said it a lot, but like for real, seriously, there's a lot of fun things happening in our Patreon now. We're getting it ramped up, and a lot of stuff is going on and going to be in the Patreon. So check that out as well. And follow us on all of our socials at the Cup Pod on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Blue Sky. We would love to have some engagement for you from you over on our socials. So hit us up on any social media platform that you are a part of. Hit us up over there. We're there too. Um, that'd be great. And if you've thought about like, hey, I want to talk about my favorite shows, I just don't have anybody in my life who wants to talk about it with. And we're looking for new voices here on the pod. So if you are available and you're free and you're willing and you want to join a podcast and talk about your favorite shows, hit us up on our Instagram DMs at the Cup Pod. That's the quickest way to get in touch with us, and we will get back to you as soon as we possibly can. So thank you very much. So I am here to talk Survivor, episode 40, episode 5. And honestly, the first part of this episode, I was just like, okay, what's going to happen? Is it going to be interesting? That Matt's gone. It feels like the war is on and is waging against original Henna tribe with the original Uli tribe. And Jason feels it immediately. Like as soon as he get back, they're like, Jason, you want to talk about it? And he's like, yeah, I mean, it doesn't feel good. But I appreciate being here. I'm glad I'm here. I want to take this. journey as far as I can go, blah, blah, blah. He's just, grateful for being there, but really just kind of like the writing's really on the wall if they lose again, right? And so um, they are trying to, make them feel comfortable, make them feel good about, being there. But yeah, how it is, a lot of talk. Um, they go over to the New Kelly tribe, and Shannon wastes no time to start talking game to Steven literally before the sun even comes up. She's laying there, and she looks over, she sees his eyes crack, and she's like, "Hey, by the way, I really want to work with you guys. I really feel comfortable with this, and if we gotta get rid of Sage." No, she said, "I have a new idea. This is what I have an idea. I've been thinking about it, and I have an idea for you. What if we go into the merge, because we know it's coming. We go into the merge with 2 Uli, 2 Henna, and 2 Calais, original Calais. What if we do that? That would be fun, right? That would be, so that means, like, if something happens, you need to keep me and keep Sage, you know, keep us, because we'll be the 2 original, you know, Uli, and then, so forth and whatever." And he's like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah. Ooh." In his confession, he's like, "Can I get some coffee? Can I stretch? Can I, get up my bearings together before we start talking game? Like, I know the game is moving fast and I don't mind moving with the game, but it's just not this early." But Shannon makes her rounds that morning. She's talking to everybody. She's like, telling everybody what they want to hear, how she is down to work with them. She's very open to working with everybody. She is really, you know, she's great. Everything is good. She's touching on Alex and rubbing his man. She's talking to MC. She's talking to Steven. She's talking to Christina. "Oh, I missed you, girl. Oh my gosh, yes." And talking about her spirituality and all of the stuff. She's doing everything that makes everybody feel good, and she finds something that she has in common with everybody, and she's just throwing it out there. She's really, hustling and talking to everybody, and I don't mind that. I kind of like that she's doing it, but I don't like how she's doing it, because she's doing it in such a way that it's not sloppy. Like, everybody sees you talking to everybody, and a friend to all is a friend to none, honestly. And she's not even doing it in a discreet way. She's just out there just talking, and she's being very loud sometimes with some conversations, very verbose even. But she's also throwing Sage under the bus as she's doing her pitches. She's like, "If I have to vote out Sage, so be it. I don't mind if I have to do that." And it's kinda everybody's like, "Oh, okay." They're seeing what's happening. And so we see a conversation between MC, Steven, and, Christina. And Christina's like, they're asking how they feel about, because MC and Steven already talking. They're already like, "Something is off about this, something ain't right." She's talking to everybody, she's playing really hard. And somebody's playing that hard, you need to watch out for them. Like, you might want to watch out for them. They're playing so hard. And so when they add Christina to the conversation, she's just like, "Oh, I really like Shannon. She's doing really, I really like her. I think she's genuine, blah, blah, blah." And they're like, "Yeah, but she's talking to everybody. She's talking to everybody." And it's kind of like, hmm, what's her angle here? Like, is she telling everybody the same thing, or is it just, distinct for certain people if the conversation is different? But no, the conversation was the same. And she was just like, and Christina's like, oh, okay, okay. So she's like, I really like Shannon. In her confessional, she's like, I really like Shannon, but it's clear that MC and Steven have some hesitations about her. And I need to think about that. I need to look and see what's best for me if I said I don't want to stick my neck out too much for her, but if I have to I just have to figure out what's best for my head or my heart. Because my heart is saying one thing, my head is saying another. And so I have to figure that out. Um, and then we see these same conversations happening with Shannon and Alec. Like I said, she's touching on them. She's just like, oh my God, doing that casual flirt, but fun. Um, and she's still saying the same thing, like, I want to work with you. I want to work with everyone with you guys. I'm really in here. If I have to get rid of Sage, if we have to do it, so be it. And so Alex and then Steven have a conversation and they're talking and they're like, I don't know. She's just a little too playing a little too hard and it's starting to freak me out. But Sage is there and she's sitting there watching them talk and she's like, hey, y'all giving me FOMO over here. I can't be a part of this conversation. And they're like, no, 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 we can't be a part of the conversation. And so they start talking and they mention how um something ain't right, how they don't feel very at ease with Shannon. And Sage is like, oh my God. Oh, finally, finally, somebody sees it. She's like, y'all see that? And they're like, "Oh, you see it too." Sage is like, "Oh, this is how she's been the entire time." Like, I don't really specifically trust all the things that she says, but I've noticed how her conversations are. Like, she likes to find things that she has in common with someone, and she latches onto that, and she ramps up the conversation about that so they can build this bond. And they're like, "Yes, we see that." And she's like, "Oh my God, Alice, I thought you had fallen under a spell." And I was like, "No, like, absolutely not." It's just, and they're like, "Oh." She's like, "Oh my God." So now Sage is in the mix and she's like, "I know what has to happen here. I know how I feel about, what's going on. And I know we are swap screwed. Like we are swap screwed up in here right now. So I have to maneuver some things." And so Steven tells her, like, she's been throwing out your name. And she was like, I knew it. I knew it. I knew she was doing that. I knew it. Now, gloves are off. I can feel comfortable enough not feeling like I'm betraying the original Uli by, going for her when she's coming for me first. And I said nothing about her. But now, okay. And so cue the montage of we seeing Sage rolling her eyes at every conversation Shannon is having. So we see her in the background like, oh, okay. Oh, mm, like make your faces just like, and then we have a Shannon and Sage conversation where they're talking and she's just like, Sage is big. Shannon's like, girl, I know, like we haven't talked in a while, and I just want you to know I still got you. Like we're still, Uli, and it's a lot, blah blah blah. And she's like, but you just need to go talk because Shannon is under the impression that Sage is not playing this game. She's just sitting there and just enjoying the vacation and having fun and not being strategic. But Sage is being very strategic and is really gaining some favor with the uh with the um with the new Kelly tribe. Like she's gaining things. And so I know I'm skipping all around because I want to get all the Kelly stuff out the way before we get to the immunity challenge. And I'm gonna get all the Henna stuff out of the way before we get to the immunity challenge. So that's what I'm doing. But I'm getting all the Kelly right now before we go on this journey that is going to happen too. So we do see that, um, because I know this conversation happened after MC gets back from the journey. MC goes on the journey, and I know this conversation I'm about to say happens after the journey, but y'all follow me. Y'all follow me. So we see that Shannon goes off to get water, and Sage is like, listen to the five of you here, or five or four, Alex. Christina, Alex, Christina, Sharon, Steven, MC. Yeah, the four of them. So she's like, listen, um, I just want y'all to know that I am willing to work with you. I want to work with you guys. I feel like this is something we could do. I'm very fine with that, okay with it. You know, I will do that. She said, and just so I can give y'all some little information. Rizzo probably has the idol from the original Uli Tribe camp because he found the Beware Advantage, and once they lost, he had to go and do another task to get the idol, and I'm sure he's done that, so he probably has the idol at this point. And Shannon knew that information. Has she shared that with any of you? And they're like, no. And MC is sitting there with no vote because they haven't lost yet, and she hadn't had to do her second part of her task, but she knows what the thing is and how that works. So she's like, "This is all very truthful. It sounds very truthful because I know what I have to do when we lose a task. So I know it has to be done. Um, so yeah, I think this is I think she's being very honest, and I appreciate that. And she's like, and if something happens and we lose, I'm more I'm leaning more towards keeping Sage and keeping Shannon because I don't really fully trust, Shannon, or I think she's a shark and it'd be better to get rid of her early before it's too late. So I was like, okay. And Shannon don't think Sage got a strategic bone in her body. It's like, girl, please. Sage is playing. And I like this side of Sage. I want to say in this episode, kudos to you, Sage. You ate this up. You ate this up. And you made sure that the tables were on your favor, not on hers. And it didn't help. She didn't help her own situation at all because she was doing a lot of talking very outwardly, publicly, loudly, talking to everybody. And people started comparing notes. And it's like, you can't do that. Especially when you're not in a majority. You have to play it a little bit smarter when you're in a minority. Um, so that conversation happened. Boom, boom. Let's go back over to Hannah. And I will talk all of their situations before and after journey, and then we'll talk about the journey. Um, Juwan is getting on Savannah's nerves over there. Um, Juwan is getting on her nerves, and like early if before when he took her bag, I was like, yes, that would bother me. That would get on my nerves. And in this episode, he mistakenly grabs her water bottle and he takes her water bottle and she can't find her water bottle. He's like, oh, shoot. Which is interesting and weird all at the same time. Because I'm like, why is he always grabbing her stuff? And like he doesn't mistake nobody else's stuff with anything. So it's like I can understand why she feels like maybe is he doing this on purpose just to, pick at me, or is it sheer coincidence? I don't know. I don't know. I think it's coincidence. I still want to say it's coincidence, but who knows? We had somebody stealing people's shoes before earlier this season, so who knows? But I don't personally think, but it could be. I could be wrong. But Juwan had taken her water bottle, so now that she's just like, "Ugh, I'm so annoyed with him. I'm so annoyed." Um, I kind of want him to go if we lose. I kind of want him to go at some point because, even though everybody knows the easy vote if they lost again would be Jason because Jason is the easiest vote at this time, and everybody's acknowledging it around, and they're like, he would be the easy vote if we lose. Hopefully we don't lose, therefore we don't have to worry about tribal council, but just in case, he would probably be the easiest choice. It'd be easy, and everybody's okay with that at this point until Juwan starts getting on Savannah's nerves. And now she's like, man, if he needs to go because he's really bothering me. And it doesn't get any better because even throughout this episode, little things start to frustrate her with him. And then, like, her and Sophie were having a conversation at the in the shelter, and honestly, me personally, I think Savannah kind of blew this one up out of proportion for no reason at all, because I don't think he was trying to spy on her conversation. He literally just came down and laid down to try to go take a nap or rest. And Sophie, Sophie with an I, Sophie and Savannah were having a conversation. They were talking about stuff from life stuff from home, like what do you think your boyfriend's doing right now? And just having casual conversations. It wasn't like they were talking game or anything. It was just a casual conversation. And Jawan came and laid down, and they were talking, and he announced himself, like he kind of coughed and rolled over and like, hey. So it wasn't like he was speaking up and trying to hear if they're having game conversations. He just laid down. And so Savannah was like, oh my God, why are you trying to listen to all my conversations? He just seems to always be trying to listen to everything I say. And we're not even talking game. We just talking. And he's just like always there. I'm like, first of all, it's a small beach. It's a small camp. Where is he supposed to go? He wanted to lay down. Like, really, I don't think he was intentionally trying to listen in on her conversations, because if he was, he wouldn't have announced himself when he was laying there, when y'all were talking about nothing. Like, he wasn't it wasn't anything. Um, they didn't even know he was there. So he could have laid there until they figured it out if he was really trying to creep on their conversation and listen to see what they were trying to say. But I don't think that was the case, and I feel like Savannah just being annoyed with Jawan already. Everything he does bother her. Like there's nothing he could do that won't bother her. And so I was just like, I found that very interesting. I do think Savannah, that was a little, it was a little unnecessary because I don't think he was trying to do that. But everybody has a right to feel how they feel. And I think with everything else going on and being paranoid in a pressure situation, everything is stressing folks out. So yeah, emotions are high, and she just was annoyed. So she's telling everybody on the original Uli tribe that she is willing to cut Jawan if necessary. Like she don't she don't want to deal with that. She don't want to deal with that. She's sick of it. Blah blah blah. But Juwan is playing the middle guy between him and Jason, because Jason and Juwan kind of bond over Pokemon and being nerds and all other things. And so he's talking to Jason, and he kind of likes Jason, and Jason likes Juwan, and he's hoping they're building something. Jason is hoping him and Juwan is building something. And Juwan is like, I would love to work with Jason, but in this situation that we are in the cards that are dealt, it wouldn't make sense for me to work with Jason, which for sure, like all they can hope is that they win the immunity, and so nobody has to go home and they can continue to grow the bond between him and Jason. Um, and but it's just like Jason is trying his best to, find cracks or find a way in. And it's kind of just like everybody's keeping him at not at a distance, but they're talking to him, they're listening and hearing him out. I will say that everybody was hearing him out, they're listening, they're like, okay, yes, that could sound right, blah blah blah. But I I don't know, they just in this moment, they just feel like they are okay, listening, open, because the challenge hadn't happened yet. So it's like, why should we focus on something we don't really know what's going to be yet? So a boat comes, journey's happening. Um, MC volunteers for the Kelly tribe to go, and they all agree. And then Jason volunteers to go, say he would like to go on the Henner tribe, but they don't want that to happen because they're like, if there's an advantage, we don't want Jason to get it. So we kind of want somebody else to go. So Savannah volunteers to go, and Nate volunteers to go, just to make sure that Jason doesn't get the only volunteer is not the only person volunteering to go. And so they're like, should we do rocks? They're like, yes. And so then Jawan goes, collects the rocks, and puts the one white rock on the top, and then the two rocks on the bottom, the two black rocks on the bottom. So when and he makes sure that Nate picks first, so Nate could pick the bark off the top. And then Juwan, Jason and Savannah will pick the two rocks. And so they show the rocks. Nate, of course, gets the rock because Siobhan set it up that way. So Nate goes on the journey. Nate didn't want to go on the journey, but he didn't want Jason to go on the journey. So he made sure Jason didn't go on the journey. And so we get to the journey, and MC and Nate, like I say, they have to work together to move a large pile of sandbags before a timer ran out. If successful, each keeps their vote at the next tribal council. But if they fail, both will lose their votes. Now, recap: MC has already lost her vote for the next challenge. I mean, immunity tribal council when they lose because she has the beware advantage, but she has not yet to lose to complete the second half of her challenge. So she could lose a vote and then still be losing another vote. So she could lose two votes. So she's like, "There's no way I could lose two votes in this." But so they start going and they start carrying these heavy sandbags across the beach, and they're trying to keep their pace steady. They're keeping it a steady pace. They're doing what they have to do. They're talking to each other, trying to get to know each other, just to take away from how painful or how exhausted that they are. They're talking about movies and family and friends and what you used to be like and what this and that. And it was fun. They were moving, they were grooving, they were getting the stuff done. And then halfway through the pile, they discovered another note, and it was hidden nearby. And the note said, "Hidden nearby under a rock lays an advantage. The first to find it keeps their vote, while the other has to finish the task alone before the timer reaches out to keep their vote. However, the advantage dies if the timer runs out or the sandbag's task is completed before the advantage is found." And so they knew that they had to, uh, they were like, if we go look for it now, we still have all these bags to move. And if we don't do it in time, we both lose our vote. So how about this? Nate comes up with this, I will say, brilliant plan. He was like, what if we do this? What if we get all the bags but one done? And then we move it halfway, but not finish it. And then we go look for the advantage. And whoever finds it first, if there's time, the other person can grab the bag and, you know, get it to the end so nobody loses their vote. And they're like, MC's like, that's fine. That's great. That works. So they do that. They get all the bags moved, and then they have one bag left, and they put it halfway just so they can go and have time to go look for this advantage. So they go off to look for the advantage. Nate is like, I'm not going to find this advantage. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to prevent MC from finding it. So he looked for a little bit, and then he started screaming like, "MC, we're running out of time. We're running out of time." And so MC's already in there. She's like, "Okay, I'm coming out." So she comes out, and just like, and he was like, "Okay, we'll move this back. We'll just both get our vote." And then you see that it's still a lot of sand left in the glass, in the hourglass. So I'm like, they actually had time. She actually had a lot more time. But Nate was like, I just didn't want it to run out. I didn't want both of us to lose our vote. And they're like, let's just finish it. We both have our vote. No harm, no foul. We both go back with, no advantage, but we both keep our vote. I personally was like, mm, I don't like that. I wanted MC to go find it, but I get it. They were tired. It was hot. It was exhausting. And then to go looking for an advantage, it just they probably just wanted to get it over with. And I get it. I get it. It's already exhausting and you're already tired. It's already hot. I just want this to be done. And they both get their vote. Nobody loses a vote, but nobody gets an advantage either. So it's kind of eh, it is what it is. Um, so they both go back to their camp exhausted, like I said. And yeah, I did all the conversations over at the Kelly tribe, and they both tell the stories of what happened, and are like, no advantage. We just got our votes, so it is what it is. Um, so let's get to the immunity challenge because the reward slash immunity challenge. The tribes had to swim to a bamboo cage where they climbed up and jumped in the cage. Then they had to carry the cage out of the water and up the beach to a series of three baskets where one player would dig out from under the cage to retrieve the missed balls the others shot at the basket. The first tribe to land all a ball in all three of their baskets won reward and immunity. And the reward was um a ch- three chickens and a rooster. Three chickens and a rooster. And so they had to everyone was excited to get chickens because the chickens lay eggs, and you could cook a chicken or let the chickens lay eggs. You have protein, all of that. Um, so they were excited. Everybody was excited. Uh, oh, and they told MC that Matt had got voted out, so they weren't surprised to see Matt was not there at Tribal. Um, so the immunity challenge started. Uh, Hannah started out on a strong. Christina sat it out. Hannah started out strong. Kelly caught up. It was going back and forth. Uh, Kelly was getting exhausted. Nate was exhausted. Um, Hannah was going, not Hannah. Yeah, Nate was exhausted on Hannah. He was exhausted, and they were struggling a little bit. Um, Everybody's struggling because they're tired. Some people have not eaten anything all this whole time. Looking at Sophie with an eye, she does not eat anything but coconut, so she's over it. Um, Nate's tired. Everybody's tired. Henna is working hard. They're getting it together. They get the cage out the almost out the water and realize they still have a sandbag on it. That's why it's still so heavy. And so they get the sandbag off and they go all the way through. Henna is the first tribe to get to the no, not Henna. Kelly is the first tribe to get to the the things where they can start digging. Henna comes in later and they finally get to that place. Shannon is the one who digs out for Kelly, and Jason is the one who digs out for Henna, and they're going to be the rebounders of this challenge. First MC starts for Kelly, she misses. So then Alex takes over, he makes it. Once they get out on the Henna side, Rizzo takes it. and he shoots and he makes it. So it's 1-1 on each side. Alex goes, it's 2-1. Rizzo goes, it's 2-2. Um, for the last and final shot, Kelly takes it. Alex takes it. Kelly wins immunity and reward. So they have 4 chickens waiting for them back at the beach when they get back. And Henna is so defeated. Like, so defeated. Jeff asked Savannah why, what's going on, how she feeling about this, and she's like, "Jeff, we really needed those chickens. Like, we really needed everything because we are struggling." And she was like, "This is only day 2 for me or day 3 for me that I didn't have fire, and we haven't been able to cook anything. But some of us hadn't had it at all and exhausted. Our body's rejecting coconut. They don't want to eat coconut." Um, and it's kinda just like, we're exhausted, we're tired, we're hungry, we're just this is bad. And so they have to go and do it by themselves. Oh, well, not by themselves, they have to just go and just do it. And they were not happy. It was like, "Oh, we are exhausted." We are exhausted. So there was that. Um, Calais wins again. Hannah still has no flint. So we get back to the Hannah camp. Well, no, we go to Kelly camp first. And they have to decide now what they're going to do with these chickens. But nobody fought against having to eat one of these chickens. They're like, we have not eaten, we've been surviving off 2 crab legs and coconuts and snails, and we want something to eat, some real protein to eat. So we're going to have to kill one of these chickens. But nobody was like, "Oh, I don't wanna do it." The girls was like, "I can't do this. We can't do this." So the guys was like, "We'll take care of it." Nate and Steven were like, "We'll take care of it." I know nobody wants to do it, even though neither Steven nor Alex has ever killed a chicken before, and they're just like, "Oh, we don't know. We don't know." For me, I've always found this part of Survivor very disturbing, but I know it has to be done and they have to survive. So I'm kind of just like, yeah, yeah, I get it. I get it. Um, they they had to do what they had to do. So they ended up killing the chicken. Nobody enjoyed doing it, but it needed to be done. And they were able to eat chicken, and it was to them it was like, yes, this is what we needed. One of the best things we could have had. So they enjoyed their protein. Now I'll go back to the Henna tribe because now they have to talk about going to tribal. What do we do? How do we do this? Um, and this was something I found very surprising, but not surprising because we know how Savannah feels about Jawan. She's kind of like she's ready for him to go. But she did talk to, like I said, they're very open to talking to Jason and hearing him out. And so her and Savannah and Jason are at the water wheel and they're talking, and she's like, listen, because she's already mentioned how much she wants Juwan to go. And so she's told everybody on her, like I said, on her tribe that she's gonna let them go. So she's like, I just feel like you, Jason, you're the only bridge to old Henna. And I don't want it to be a war between Henna and Uli. I don't want that. But your strongest point is that you can be that bridge to let them know, like, hey, no, it's not like that. And you can be that bridge. That's your pitch. That's what you need to pitch to everybody. And Jason was like, you know what? You're kind of right about that. So he does just that. He goes and tells everybody like, listen, I'm the bridge between old Henna and us. And I could get, some people to want to work within us instead of working against each other. I can help with that and we could do that. And the pitch sounded good. It sounded like a good pitch. It sounded like it was working with some people. Savannah and Nate was even like, "What do we do? Do we vote out Juwan? If we could do that at this point," they're like, "We don't know if he's going to use this shot in the dark, if Jason's going to use the shot in the dark, and if he does use it and it works out in his benefit, we might need to, you know, use somebody else's, you put another name down." And so they were like, "Would you put Juwan?" She was like, "Duh. I've only been saying that all day. I want to put his name down." And so we go to tribal with people thinking about putting Juwan's name down. We heard from Jason that he thinks they should go after Rizzo, um, and all kinds of stuff. So we've heard Rizzo, we heard Jason, we heard Juwan. All those names are floating around right now. But honestly, wasn't nobody thinking about Rizzo at this point but Jason. Jason's the only person thinking about Rizzo at this point. Um, so we go to tribal, and tribal is what it was. Everybody's like, Jeff is asking them, how they're feeling, what they do, how all the normal conversations. And we had a lot of analogies happening of, why people are feeling sorts of ways and things like this. And Jawan was starting to talk about, how he felt in the game. But then he was like, "Can I say something random, Uncle Jeff? Like, I feel like I find myself comparing myself to everybody else all the time on this beach, where I'm like, I don't communicate as much as good as other people. Am I not a good person? Like, am I not a good communicator? Am I not someone who is, important on this tribe?" Because it's like I feel like because I'm kind of nerdy, kind of shy when it comes to meeting new people. And I don't know if how I'm talking or my actions or what I'm doing, if it comes off as annoying or frustrating or not, people don't want to be around me anymore. And he's like, "What brought that on?" He's like, "I don't know. It's just like you just feel that sometimes you just compare yourself to everybody and you're like, oh, I'm not saying this as well as this person, and I'm not doing this as well as this person." So it's kind of just like, I don't know. I just feel like I just feel down. And so then Rizzo pipes in, and he's like, "I know what he's saying," and he said, "Just sometimes when you try to compare yourself to other people, and it's like, am I not funny enough? Because I see them making somebody else laugh, or I see them working in the camp. I'm like, am I not doing enough, or am I?" You seem to question yourself. He said, "But Jeff, when you say get off on your couches and apply, we have to realize that that took courage, that took confidence for us to apply to this show. And now to get on the show, we should have the confidence of, yeah, I could do this. I've done it. I've done the hard part. I got here. Now I have to work." And it was really nice. And Jeff was like, "See, this is," and Jamal was like, "See, this is what I'm talking about. This is how well he said that." And it was like, it just, you compare. And so Jeff asked him if they think that sometimes seeing people, asked Nate if hearing how down Jawan was, would that when you hear people talk like that, does that make you feel like, yeah, I should, maybe we need to let them go because they're not, strong enough or confident enough. And it's like, hmm. And he's like, "Yeah, I mean, it definitely can play a factor in things sometimes." He said, "But we just have to, continue to just know that we are supposed to be here. We're here." And it was just an interesting moment. It was a nice moment, interesting moment. Um, but so we go to vote. I'm just gonna get to the vote because honestly, this is where I was so confused. I don't understand what happened here. I don't understand why Jason did not use his shot in the dark. Like, there's no reason I would keep that shot in the dark when I'm the only person left from a tribe that everybody was trying to get out. Um, it doesn't make any sense to not. use it. I mean, I get you lose the vote when you do that, and maybe that's the thing. Maybe because he knew nobody else was going to vote for any, or he assumed nobody was going to vote for anybody else. So, but still, it's like if that's the case and you're safe and everybody votes the same way, all you, then we have to revote. And they can't vote for me. So what do you do? Well, I know what they would have did. They would have just voted for Jawan. But um, yeah, but he didn't use a shot in the dark. He didn't use it. And he was the sole vote for Rizzo, while everybody else voted for Jason. So he is the sixth person out of this game. I thought it was going to be more surprising, but it wasn't. It was very typical. It took a lot of maybe. Oh, no, he's just gonna do what we thought you were gonna do. Okay. It literally was like, oh, you just gonna do what it is we thought you were going to do. So unfortunately, we have to give Jason snuff your torch. You're done. Jack has now lost someone else. This is our draft. Logan is kind of eating us up in this draft because Logan still has a full team right now, while I am down three people and Jack is down two people. It's kind of bad. It's kind of bad, but Logan's eating it up, so I can't even get mad at it. It is what it is. But yo, next week we're going to be right back here talking about more of Survivor 49, episode 6. The preview didn't really give us a whole lot of what was gonna happen. We just saw a lot of Riz God trying to fish and falling and, you know, I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen, but we're gonna see, and we're gonna be right back here talking about it. Maybe me by myself, maybe me with some more people, maybe not me at all, and some other people take over. Who knows what's gonna happen? I just know somebody's gonna be here talking about Survivor 49, and I hope you join us to continue this journey with us. I truly appreciate you. If you have watched and you haven't subscribed, please do so. We truly appreciate it. Follow us on this channel and all of our channels. All the links will be in the description below in our link tree, as well as our audio podcast links. Our Patreon is there. All of our socials at the Cup Pod on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Blue Sky, and where you can get your cup mug at lanagcreations.etsy.com. Either type it in or scan our QR code. And we're gonna get out of here because I got more content to do for you guys. So I'm gonna go make more content. But you know what you could do? Just click on the next video, and we'll talk to you later. I'll see you next week. Cheers, y'all. Bye.